out from the start. I think he was pretty comfortable throwing anything, as we talked about with him. He was pretty comfortable throwing everything he had at these guys at any point in any count. He got ahead really well. He executed pitches late in at bats. He did it all. I mean, it was masterful what he was doing out there, and everything looked as sharp as I could have hoped it, and he pitched with confidence, and he was doing it.
Yeah, Judd.
Dylan Bundy, man. Cy Young, Dylan Bundy.
Well, let's get right into it here. Every Tuesday, it's who gets it, who doesn't on Mackey and Judd. And, Rocco Baldelli describing Dylan Bundy's magnificent first start as a Twin there might as well have been staring into the soul of Judd Zulgad in that
I was right there.
press conference.
Didn't even look at me. Couldn't even look me in the eye to shove it down my throat.
Just like you couldn't even look Dylan Bundy in the eye to apologize to him. So let's start out with who doesn't get it. Judd Zulgad, the man who last week completely unnecessarily drove by 3 different times and threw stones at Dylan Bundy, a former number 4 overall pick who got stuck in that crappy Baltimore Orioles pitching development pipeline that ruined many first, second, third round picks. Even though we have evidence of guys like Kevin Gausman emerging and finally realizing their true potential with a different organization at age 30, Dylan Bundy lights out for 5 innings last night, just throwing, well, it was 91, 92. I wouldn't say it was gas, but he was throwing pitches, and the hitters weren't making solid contact. And so this is your chance to apologize to former number 4 overall pick, Dylan Bundy. Go ahead. We will give you the
floor. I will double. You know what? I would like to take this opportunity to actually double down. And as I tweeted at both of you, give me 2 months of this and I will apologize. You give me 2 months of lights out, fantastic pitching, because we have seen guys early in their Twins pitching careers of late get off to good starts. And then their pitching performances have declined. And so what I'm saying now is I'm challenging, and in some ways I feel responsible for the success of Bundy last night.
Oh, right, naturally.
Because I challenged him and he came through. So I would like to reissue the challenge.
Oh my God.
And say, in 12 days when you make your next start, because we're on a 10-man rotation here, I want to see the same thing from Dylan Bundy.
So as I believe when you tweeted that out last night, one of the first responses was, and I'm paraphrasing here, so you will instantly criticize a player for getting off to a bad start, but if someone gets off to a good start, you need to see 2 months of it. So you'll instantly hammer someone for a bad performance, but you need to see more of a good performance before you offer the praise.
That's not true. I would like to say this. I have not tweeted. I do not believe I have tweeted one word that is negative about one Miguel Sano, who is 0 for the season. 0 for the season, and I have not come looking for his job yet. I have not come, No, the new patient Judd. It cuts both ways, though.
Okay.
My newfound patience cuts both ways, which is I'll give you time to get righted, but I'm not going to assume that if you start off right, you're fixed. How about that?
I will say in all seriousness here that I don't expect Dylan Bundy to go 5 innings, give up 1 hit every time he starts here. Like I think he's a back end of the rotation guy, but it is very interesting. He's not just another Kevin Correa type. Mike, he is a former top 5 overall draft pick that a couple years ago finally started to show some promise. And people kind of forget the first 2 years of his career was pretty damn good. He had like a 4 ERA, strikeout per inning. He's had 2 or 3, really 2 like kind of train wreck seasons, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks in the rotation all year and he's a good, solid number 4 starter. So I am here to give Dylan Bundy a chance.
Let's just say that I think that there is a reason why his pandemic shortened 2020 was good, because it was shortened.
Maybe.
So, if we could end the season in July, I think you're onto something. The problem is the season keeps going, and I think that's wherein lies the issues with Dylan Bundy. But the good thing is that the Twins have enough guys like Bundy and Archer that you could probably figure things out to get the best rotation possible that you possibly can.
Yeah, I think at some point, my guess is like Bailey Ober probably goes to the bullpen. Just and you need guys like that in today's, you're not going to have 8-inning horses here, so you need some guys. In fact, let's keep it moving here. on who gets it, who doesn't. We'll go to Declan next.
I will say, I'll continue on the theme of Bundy, and just the starting pitching in general has been pretty solid. The starting pitching through almost the first full rotation here. Obviously, we'll get potentially the fifth game of the season maybe tonight on Tuesday night against the Dodgers. We'll see if the rain holds off. But so far, Sonny Gray, Dylan Bundy, Joe Ryan, they've all looked pretty dang good. And it's going to take a little bit for them to get truly stretched out, right? Like, none of them are throwing a ton of innings yet. None of them are going to have a long leash. And with Rocco, you really, truly never know how long they're going to go. But in general, I think the starting pitching has been pretty dang solid. And for Bundy's sake, if he can keep the ball in the ballpark, that's all he needs to do to really be significantly better. I mean, he led the league in home runs per 9 a few years ago, allowed like 41 bombs. Last year, 20 home runs allowed in like 90 innings pitched. So keeping the ball in the ballpark for him is huge. But in general, the starting pitching was still the biggest question mark of this team because we knew the lineup was most likely going to bop. And so far, one trip through the sun, I've liked what I've seen from the Twins rotation. They get it so far.
Yeah, 8 runs in 18 2/3, and Bailey gave up 4 of those. So Joe Ryan gave up 2 earned runs, Gray gave up 2 earned runs, and Bundy 0. So yeah, it's been good so far. It's been,
the bullpen too is so much different if Yohan Duran is going to throw 101 miles an hour and just blow guys away like this. He is just untouchable when he's throwing strikes. They haven't had many guys like this. Even, Taylor Rogers, it was a really good reliever, but he wasn't this. He wasn't just blowing guys away. Taylor Rogers had to be a little bit more crafty in his strikeouts.
Yes.
So this is, if Duran is panning out as we think we're seeing here in the first couple relief outings, wouldn't he be the first legitimate needle-moving guy to come through in the last fight? Gratterall came up, but then they traded him. Bailey Ober, jury's still out. Like, guys who came up through the pipeline under the Falvey and Levine regime.
And throws like this? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
No question about it.
When did he... was he technically signed before? Because he's
Diamondbacks
24 years. Okay.
Escobar trade.
So they did acquire him. Okay.
Yes, they acquired him from the Diamondbacks in 2000. Was that 18?
So him and Joe Ryan are guys that they've acquired as minor leaguers from other systems that are going to come through. And
hey, you know what? I'm cool with that. If you can pilfer them, pilfer them.
Yep. All right. Who gets it? Who doesn't? Who doesn't get it? The people from a few years ago who told Byron Buxton, "Why don't you keep the ball on the ground and use your speed, use your legs?" Byron Buxton, by the way, has 0 triples since the beginning of 2020. And I think, and Judd, you noted, we were texting last night, that he's kind of pumping the brakes on sprinting all out to first base every single time. Like,
he definitely is.
It's okay.
And you don't need to.
Don't pull a hamstring or a calf or twist an ankle. Just if you hit a ground ball in the hole at shortstop, okay, and you can get to first base, but don't. It's about the long play here, okay? It's about 6 months. And we floated some of these numbers yesterday, but let's update them. So with this power approach the last 3 years, he's now slugging .640 since the beginning of 2020 in 400 plate appearances, which is number 1 in baseball over that stretch. Mm-hmm. His .970 OPS since the beginning of 2020 ranks 6th among all hitters behind Juan Soto, Mike Trout, and Bryce Harper. So he's, again, when he's on the field and when he's playing, his bat and his power are right in the mix with the guys that we talk about for MVP and Hall of Fame caliber status. But
started to hear the chants last night. Started to hear a few chants last night. The MVP chants.
2 doubles.
About 8,000 there, but they few MVP chants. Oh God, he was great last night.
Like,
the bat speed is phenomenal.
Yeah, there was a time, not that long ago where people were like, we probably said it on this show out of frustration, like, dude, just put the ball in play for God's sakes, because he was striking out so much. But, the way that he has legitimately turned into one of the best power hitters in all of baseball. And it just, like, you're going to see the numbers play out if he stays on the field.
Mm-hmm. All right, so who gets it? Who gets it? Who gets it? Who gets it? I feel a need to put a stop to this. Who doesn't get it?
Well, I just gave you 2 I gave you 2 who doesn't get it so far. You don't get it, and the people that wanted Byron Buxton to hit the ball.
Well, that's not fair to pick on me. My Dylan Bundy thing might still be. Who doesn't get it? Who doesn't get it? Tommy Watkins.
Oh, I was going to be
Your third base coach, who replaced poor Tony Diaz, who has been subjected to being confined in the dugout now as infield coach. But Tommy Watkins last night on a Buxton shot off the left field wall, and I mean it was a missile. That ball got out there, kicked off it, bang, bang, bang. And what does Tommy Watkins decide to do? He decides, I am going to send Miguel Sano, not Ricky Henderson, not Lou Brock, not Tim Raines. Miguel Sano, I'm going to send him, and got him thrown out by from me here in studio, basically to my house in St. Louis Park. And then after the game, when asked about it, Rocco defended him and said, that's a good aggressive send. I told Tommy that's a good aggressive. No, it's not. It's incredibly stupid. What are you doing? He
might just defending his guy publicly. He might have lit him up behind the scenes.
Well, I hope he did. But right before that, there was a similar play on which Watkins, and this is what I didn't get, held Luis Arraez. So it's like, hold on a second here. So you're not going to take a chance, and that was a ball not to left but right field. But so you're not going to take a chance on a ball to right field on sending Arraez, who I'm not saying is going to burn up the base paths, but he's certainly not Miguel Sano. And you're going to send, and the other thing is, this is a now no collision zone. So like the one thing, if you're going to send Big Miguel, would be like, okay, go into that catcher, knock Big that rig. Ball loose. So anyway. Tommy Watkins, here I come, right there. So, Tommy Watkins, get a clue, man.
Oh, man, I love it. Just throwing the third base coach under the bus.
I love third base coaches who screw up. Love it.
Let's talk about performance issues for a second here, okay? There's being unable to judge whether you should send someone around third base is one type of performance issue, but then there's other men's related performance issues like ED, for instance. And Valley Park Medical Clinic is dedicated to providing breakthrough ED remedies to men in the Twin Cities area through all sorts of surgery-free, drug-free, non-invasive treatments. They're highly trained. They'll work with you in a discreet manner, and they'll make you feel at home. So if you have any questions, you can get them answered in a confidential environment. ValleyParkMedicalClinic.com. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. We're all here to get better. ValleyParkMedicalClinic.com. All right, who gets it, who doesn't, Declan?
I'm going to stick on the Twins for it doesn't get it. And, actually, I was talking to some friends around the weekend about this. You know who does not get it? I really can't string together all the Twins walk-up music. I can't find a good gem in here. Like, usually a walk-up song... I love this topic. It's a great topic. Usually a walk-up song should kind of get the crowd a little pumped. Like, baseball's boring, right? You might even forget the out happened, and then, a little song comes on. It gets a little pep in your step. You take another sip of your beverage. This collection of walk-up songs by the Twins, what are we doing here? Gio Urshela? What is this? I don't know this song. I don't want to hear this stuff.
It's about Jesus.
Max Kepler goes from London Calling and then scraps it and goes back to Mac Miller. Nike's on my feet one day later because he had a bad opening day. Yeah. I do not like any of this walk-up songs.
So, all right, I'm so glad you dove into this. The Minnesota Twins are the person that goes to a karaoke bar and does the obscure song that they like to do. No, karaoke and walk-up music is for the crowd. You are there to entertain the audience. You are not there to sing a weird, obscure love song, 6 beers in at the VFW, okay? Karaoke and walk-up music is for entertaining a crowd with mainstream songs that people have heard.
Yeah.
Josh Willingham, I think it was, for 3 years.
He had 2.
Had the outfield, Your Love, right? One of the biggest 80s songs, right?
Great song.
Something that people can, we can sing to. What's the point? So that you can get pumped up for 20 seconds hearing the same song? Like, Joe Mauer always bugged me. It's like, dude, you've been in the league for 12 years, and you're going to use the same T.I. song since the day that you stepped foot on?
What you know about it? What you know about it?
I kind of defend.
What you know about it?
I kind of defend Joe.
That was a terrible. That was awful. I didn't like that at all.
All right, impromptu.
What would your song be?
Rich Girl. Mine would be Rich Girl by Hall & Oates. It's on the same theme we just talked about with Willingham. It would be Rich Girl. It gets the crowd a little more pumped up back into it. I would have Rich Girl. Hall & Oates. Judd?
Oh, I would need to think about this. I'm a connoisseur. I would need to think about what deep track that I would have just
No,
above
no
both
deep
of you
tracks.
guys.
That's exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be like Kepler. I'd come up with.
You're gonna pick some Beatles song from the White Album that no
gotta
one's
be
heard
great.
of.
Gotta be great.
Oh God,
Dude, I'm a big 80s metal guy, and so there's any number of like Scorpion songs, like Rock You Like a Hurricane, just like I want to throw people back to the 80s. Metallica would be fun too. Just something like, let's give people. Mariano Rivera came out to Enter Bleeping Sandman for 20 years, right? Like that's awesome. Hell's Bells, AC/DC for Trevor Hoffman coming in from the bullpen. It can get you fired up, and people know it. It's an AC/DC.
What was
song.
Perkins? He switched up, right?
he had
Little
Johnny
Cash.
Cash cut you down.
Yeah, that's a great
We actually
one.
did
I
a
love that
segment
one.
on our show with him trying to pick. Like I think we landed on we played a bunch of songs for him on our show and said let's pick some music here. And I think in the moment we landed on "The Zoo" by the Scorpions, it's a great guitar riff. It's a popular 80s metal song, but yeah, don't like this obscure stuff that you're trying to show off. Like I don't know. So glad Declan brought this
It might
up.
make him comfortable.
Oh yeah, it's really working so far for.
Look, Joe Ryan, I'm glad you and Rocco Baldelli love the Grateful Dead, but there's like 5% of stoner potheads in that ballpark. All right, like no one's really gonna know the
what's
Grateful
important?
Dead.
They might be a big percentage, so they're gonna pick their songs.
Okay.
Okay, I have a rant too here. Okay, all right. No, we only got a couple minutes left here, but who doesn't get it? Still, Major League Baseball. So we don't like talk about this every day, but yeah, I think the audience knows. I live in Seattle, Washington. Make frequent visits to the Twin Cities. Diehard Minnesota sports guy, and so these last 4 days, the Minnesota Twins, the team that I want to watch, I am paying $160 for the MLB package to watch Twins games, are playing the team in the city that I live in, the Seattle Mariners. Should literally be the easiest series to watch, right? But because I have YouTube TV and not whatever cable company
cable system.
Major League Baseball wants me to have, the games are blacked out. I don't get Root Sports on YouTube TV, and Twins games are blacked out in the local market because they're playing the local team. So I'd like Jimmy rig these like weird streaming sites for all 4 games. Why is baseball? I am paying money. Like I'm even saying, listen, on top of the money that I'm paying you, I'll pay even more to watch this series if that's what you're asking.
No, you got to.
And you're
get
not
cable.
even letting me give you money to watch the games? What are we doing?
They're doing what they've always done.
Yeah.
They're doing what they've always done. They're screwing the customer because they have exclusive deals that they're never gonna stop this.
Baseball
They black
should be
out
available.
5 teams in Iowa.
Baseball should be available. By the way, is Bally still dead on? Bally Sports North has been dead on YouTube TV for 2 years now, right?
Yep.
It's not back
Yeah,
yet.
Yeah, it's still not on.
Yeah, no.
So like
People gave up.
So like, baseball, step in. It's not like people are saying, "Oh, I'm looking for a free way to undercut it." People are saying, "No, I'll pay you $20 a month to watch these games. Where do I give my money?" And they're saying, "Oh, wow, go give it to Comcast." No, I don't know. Why not make it the most accessible game to watch in the country?
That's what I do. I pay my bill. My bills to get my games.
I pay my bill too.
I pay my bills to get my games. All right, who gets it? Who gets it on a positive note? Dean Evison, Chris Finch. All right? It is finally good to have a Wolves coach and a Wild coach who they're not, you know what? They're not splashy coaches. They don't give great post-game pressers. But you know what they do? They bring a stability that these two teams have not seen in a long time. And they bring a stability and a no BS approach that I absolutely appreciate. They're lifers. I don't think there's any question about who runs these teams. Are the players? How much are the players in control here? Both of them, I think, empower players. So it's not like they are egomaniacs. But I think there's also, at the end of the day, no doubt that these two guys run their teams, and they do a damn good job. And it is a breath of fresh air to have two coaches at the same time with those two teams who I think the fan base can appreciate.
Yep.
You get it.
Yep. And it'll be a blast to hopefully watch them operate in deep playoff series. We'll see. I think the Wild are much more set up to make it. I mean, the Wolves have to jump through some major hoops starting tonight just to get to a playoff series. But yeah, I think both teams, you're right, have the coaches right. I'm not sold on Rocco with the Twins. We'll see on Kevin O'Connell, but I think the winter sports teams here can rest easy right now. And Shale Reeve, obviously, with the Lynx. So, yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to watch those guys pull some strings here in playoff games. The line, by the way, is still 2.5 points even after. The Wolves are favored by 2.5 points even after the Ed Malloy announcement. So the Ed Malloy sabotage factor has not moved the line yet.
Give me the Clippers.
Go Ed Malloy! It's ridiculous. All right. Good stuff here, boys. Speaking of reliable and steady, Federated Insurance has been around for over 100 years, providing reliable, steady guidance, advice for business owners, risk management tools and resources. And you can find out how they can protect and help elevate your business at federatedinsurance.com. April is also Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and Federated is preaching, just make sure we get home safely on the roads here. Every month, but especially in April as we're raising awareness for this. Find out more information about how Federated can help your business at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right. This is going to be a blast here. Hopefully the Twins play at least a game against the Dodgers here, but indoors, we don't have to worry about the other Minnesota-LA matchup getting rained out. We're going to be doing tonight a live vent line after Timberwolves Clippers on the Score North YouTube channel, so check that out. See you guys.